This is ABC15 Mornings.
Now on ABC15 Mornings at 6. We've got the latest on protests from people who are tired of staying at home, what they want to do to see businesses back open.
And looking for ways to help those in need as the coronavirus crisis continues. It might be as simple as logging into your computer. How you can get involved by answering just a few questions.
Also, a Phoenix teacher is working overtime to make sure that her students don't fall behind while learning at home. She is going to get a well-deserved surprise and a major mention on social media from a celebrity. We're going to show you who in just a few minutes. Doing our part to put that smile on your face as you start off your Sunday morning, and we're so glad you're starting it right here with us. I'm Nohelani Graff.
And I'm Mark Thompson, and it was just a beautiful day yesterday. I got a chance to get out and enjoy it a little bit, took a little walk, keeping my social distance, of course, like I'm doing right now. But I want to know, can today measure up to yesterday?
I think it's going to come pretty close. It's going to be just a little bit warmer than we saw yesterday, and we're going to have even clearer skies. So if that is your bag, then here you go. Let's dive right into it. It's going to be warm and sunny today. Those breezes are going to continue today and for the next couple of days, in fact. And you've really got to enjoy today's temperatures because we've got a big warm up on the way. Speaking of those breezes, they're picking up just a little bit more here in the valley, right around 9 miles an hour, 7 miles an hour up in Sedona, and Winslow still have sustained winds around 10 miles an hour. Our temperatures are also cool across the valley. We're down into the low 50s in Chandler and Gilbert right now, upper 50s already in Apache Junction, Scottsdale and Glendale sitting at 57, and it's cooler in Peoria at 54 and Buckeye at 52 degrees. I'm going to show you the warm up though hour by hour coming up in that most accurate forecast this morning.
All right, Nohe, thank you. 6:02, and we're looking at signs of recovery versus signs of dissatisfaction. Despite staggering numbers of coronavirus deaths across the nation, some states are planning still to reopen. ABC's Mark Stewart has the very latest.
As new federal and state guidelines are released for reopening the country, anxious and frustrated citizens of several states take to the streets in protest, ready to get back to work in Maryland and Ohio. In Texas, where the governor has begun easing some restrictions, cities like Boston will deploy sound trucks with messages in several languages to remind people to stay home. The coronavirus task force is applauding the country's efforts at social distancing, saying it's making a difference. President Trump also addressed what the government is doing to protect those most at risk through community health centers.
These centers provide care to 28 million people living in medically underserved urban and rural regions, including many African American and Hispanic communities. We're taking care of them. And it's so important.
However, a key hurdle for reopening large portions of the country comes down to testing. Roughly 3.5 million Americans have been screened for COVID. That's only 1% of the population. Several governors say they need more supplies and federal help to get it done.
We could be doing exponentially more, get up to 90. He believes 95,000 tests a day if we had those additional supply materials.
And I'm not asking for the federal government to come in and do any more than they need to do, but we do need their coordination. We do need their partnership. And we also need from the federal government, we need funding.
Mark Stewart, ABC News, New York.
And the Navajo Nation is not the only area trying to fight off the spread of coronavirus. The White Mountain Apache tribe, they're also working on ways to try and fight the spread as well, as they have been hit hard. Matter of fact, take a look at these numbers. 41 people they've tested positive, and there's now an effort to stop that spread. Everyone has to wear a mask, and a nightly curfew starts at 8 o'clock. But there is some good news in all of this. 21 of those cases have recovered. So that is good news. And we're learning about a project in New Mexico aimed at helping patients in remote areas. Sunland Asphalt, they're working with the city of Albuquerque, turning a parking lot into a helipad. Ambulances, they're going to be standing by as well. So COVID-19 patients that are flown in from northern Arizona and the Navajo Nation can be transported to hospitals quickly.
When we were asked to help out with this, it was an easy answer. We couldn't wait to give back to the community, couldn't wait to help out. We do have a handful of Navajo Nation employees that work for us. And so it did hit relatively close to home. So we couldn't wait to get started on this thing and help out.
And the goal is to start flying those people in this morning.
Back here in the Valley, there is a protest happening today at the state capitol. This is a grassroots effort to get Arizona's economy back up and running, and it mirrors some of the events that you have seen happening across the Midwest this weekend. Also, we want to get you the latest numbers here in Arizona. There are now over 4,700 confirmed coronavirus cases in the state of Arizona, and the state and counties are reporting 8 more deaths. That brings the total to 169 people. You can get a full breakdown of cases even by zip code right now on our website, ABC15.com. Also, right now, a lot of people are looking for ways that they can help others in this time of crisis. And one way to do that is to volunteer virtually. Volunteermatch.org tracks virtual volunteer opportunities. So you can actually search by your interests and by opportunities specific to COVID-19. The CEO of the company says that they've added hundreds of new opportunities from nonprofits nationwide.
The promise right now of virtual volunteering and the feedback is, for people who want to make a difference and who really want to find a way to give back, it's a relief to be doing something that can feel constructive and generous and positive at a moment when the world needs, generosity and giving more than it ever has.
The CEO, Greg Baldwin, there does hope that one of the lasting legacies of this moment will be that people see the opportunities to use their talents and skills in ways that they might have never considered before, Mark.
Well, a South Phoenix teacher is getting a little extra help this morning after winning a contest hosted by actress Kristen Bell. Now check this out. Out of more than 4,800 nominations, Miss Jessica Angel was one of 5 teachers picked to win the Frozen Stars Featured Teacher Friday contest. Angel is a special education teacher at T.G. Barr Elementary School, and when schools closed, she took matters into her own hands, doing everything that she could to support students learning at home. She won school supplies for 7,500 kids in the Roosevelt School District, which will be a big help to her cause. Bell posted a picture of Angel on her Instagram page saying, quote, "Teachers are heroes. I have known this in my brain for a while, but now I am feeling it a lot more in my bones." Congratulations to that teacher.
And I think so many families can relate to that sentiment right now. And Kristen Bell is such a great follow on Instagram if you're not already following her, so you can check out that photo as well. Let's talk about that most accurate forecast now as we come up on 6:08 on this Sunday morning. If you didn't do it yesterday, maybe you'll be enticed to do it today. Pull out the grill and enjoy a barbecue in the backyard today with your family. Temperatures are nice and mild this morning, 64 degrees, but by lunchtime at noon, we'll already be in the upper 70s. Great grilling weather. By 4 o'clock, 84 degrees. So if you're going to do dinner outside, know that it will be just a little bit warmer this afternoon than it was yesterday. But our high of 84 today is right on par with the average, really. We should be sitting at 86 degrees. And for some perspective, we are well off from the record of 103 that was set on this day back in 1989. But we are going to warm to temperatures that are above the average. The 90s are now in sight. I'll show you how long they're going to last in that most accurate forecast.
All right, well, it's 6:08 on your Sunday morning. Coming up, stimulus checks, they can be a huge help, but do you have a plan for that money? What to think about before you cash in?
Also, there is growing interest in gardening, and that has one local business thriving. They've also got some recommendations if you want to start a backyard project. That's coming up. But first, we leave you with this live view of the superstitions this morning. Clear skies. It will be great gardening weather today. Stay with us this morning, Arizona.
Welcome back, everybody, and we all know that given the circumstances, we're all spending a lot more time at home. So how about getting our hands dirty just a little bit and trying out gardening for a change? ABC 15's John Genovese spoke to an expert.
Well, whether you have a big plot of land or just a garden box at home, Greg Peterson says now's the perfect time to step out of your comfort zone and plant. He's the owner of the Urban Farm in Phoenix, and with these stay-at-home orders, he and his team are hosting free online classes, hoping viewers will sprout up a new skill.
In the last 30 days, interest has spiked through the roof.
Learning what to plant and when. You might doubt what can survive in the desert, but Greg Peterson of the Urban Farm says now's the perfect time to try.
You can get your hand on, a 1 gallon or a 5-gallon tomato and get it in the ground. You're going to get tomatoes by June. The other things that go in the ground right now, if you're really brave, you can plant corn, melons, cucumbers, squash.
With so many people staying home on weekdays at 5 p.m., Peterson and his team are hosting free online classes on gardening or gardening-related topics. He says there's a huge demand with hundreds of people taking part.
As we've seen in the past month or so, the grocery store's shelves are empty. We have a food system in this country that gives us just-in-time food, which it's perfect, except when it's not.
Getting your hands dirty and depending more on what you nurture from the ground up. At the very least, Peterson says you should start small and grow from there.
Buy some potting mix and a pot and a basil plant. Just do it. Get in, jump in, experiment. Yeah, you might kill it, but then you know what not to do.
Now, to register for those free classes, you can visit iwanttogarden.com. There are also some other resources on their main website, urbanfarm.org. All those lessons really catering to us here in the desert, and hey, might give you a few hour break from all those screens you're looking at inside. For now, John Genovese, ABC15, Arizona.
That is the truth of it, isn't it, John? Thanks so much for that. And it is going to be a great day to get outside. Giving you a live view of Piestewa Peak this morning. Just a few high, thin clouds, but otherwise clear right now. And sitting in the upper 50s right now in the Phoenix Metro, although we do have some valley cities that are a little cooler than that. And our breezes are right around 9 miles an hour right now. We will continue to have clear skies for much of the afternoon here in the valley through lunchtime. That's when we'll start to see some cloud stream in from the south and the north. Then we'll get a little bit of cloud cover here in the valley through the evening hours, but we stay dry. Tomorrow, we're dry as well here in the valley, but overnight, Monday night and into Tuesday, we'll start to watch a disturbance pass over northern Arizona. So areas like the Grand Canyon, Flagstaff, Page, Winslow, and Window Rock could all see some isolated rain and even snow showers in the higher elevations Monday night into Tuesday. But again, we're staying dry here in the valley. Our breezes continue here in the valley today as well, blowing out of the southwest today at around 5 to 10 miles an hour, so very similar to what we saw yesterday. Up in northern Arizona, stronger winds again with gusts up to 20 miles an hour possible across the high country. Our temperatures right now in the high country, we do have some freezing spots up there. Flagstaff sitting at 27 degrees. Heber has now dropped down into the upper 20s this morning. We're in the mid 30s in Show Low as well as Window Rock, and even Payson dropping down into the upper 30s now as well. So it is a frigid start up in the high country. Back here in the valley, we'll warm out of the 50s by about 7, 8 o'clock this morning, and then we'll linger in the 60s through 10 this morning, and then we're already warming into the low 70s. By noon, we're in the upper 70s, so that's a faster warm up than we saw yesterday, and the 80s work their way into our forecast after 2 o'clock, and we'll stay in the 80s even through 6 o'clock this evening, sitting at 82 degrees. So here's that forecast high city by city today. 84 in Levine and Ahwatukee, as well as Chandler and Gilbert, 81 in Apache Junction, 82 in Fountain Hills, as well as Deer Valley, 83 in Glendale, Surprise, and Peoria for today. Very similar temperatures to our south. It'll be 80 in Safford, 81 in Tucson, 82 in Casa Grande, mid 80s along our western border, and then up to our north, cooler temperatures, but actually gorgeous weather in Sedona. Lucky if you live up there, because you're going to come close to 70 degrees today under sunny skies, and it'll be a little breezier for you as well. We'll stay in the low 60s in Payson today, 63 degrees, 65 in Show Low, similar temperatures in Window Rock. Winslow and Page, though, you will warm into the 70s as well. Back here in the valley, our air quality is looking pretty decent. We're actually going to stay in the moderate range for the next couple of days. Today, our ozone pollution is going to be higher than the other days of this week, so just be mindful of that. If you have trouble breathing, then you might want to try and limit your activities, or at least keep them short outside. So warm today, warmer still on Monday. On Tuesday, we'll see the strongest breezes of the week here in the valley, and that's getting us ready for that warm up that comes on Wednesday. 92 degrees, 95 by Thursday. And right now it's looking like the 90s are going to stick around for a little bit. I will show you in that 7-day forecast in just a few minutes, Mark.
All right, no, hey, if you say so. Well, right now, small businesses across the country, many of them, they're on the brink of closing their doors for good, but there might be just a little bit more relief on the way as lawmakers are now considering another $250 billion for the Paycheck Protection Program after roughly $350 billion ran out in just a matter of days.
If tens of billions of dollars went in a matter of days the first time, will this next relief package be enough?
Certainly, it's going to get us to a point that's going to be rather beautiful. We think that that will be the point, and it could be they'd want more, but maybe at a certain point we're going to stop.
And this morning, there is some question about who's benefiting from the stimulus package. According to analysis by the Joint Committee on Taxation, one provision is creating a huge tax loophole for some of the wealthiest Americans who make $1 million a year or more, allowing them to use some business losses as write-offs.
Still to come for you this morning, local food banks are in need of donations, but not in your typical way. They also need volunteers to feed our communities. We're going to talk you through how you can help in that coming up on the other side of this break. We are living through extraordinary times right now, and there are people with great need out there, but our local food banks have been stepping up in a big way. So this morning, Jerry Brown is joining us from St. Mary's Food Bank. Jerry, have to say, first off, thank you so much to you and your team for the service that you have been providing for the community.
Well, we appreciate that, and we want to thank all of our donors, all of our volunteers, the folks that are helping us out with monetary food donations and building these food boxes. We've seen a tremendous uptick in the amount of food, more than double over the last few weeks, and that doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen without a lot of help, and we're getting it.
Let's talk a little bit about that need that you're seeing, about how many people have been coming out to get help from St. Mary's compared to what we usually see this time of year.
Well, just to give you an idea, yesterday we were up on the Navajo Reservation. We distributed 2,000 families, received food boxes. Those are folks that have been locked in their homes over the weekend, locked up, access to grocery stores up there, very difficult, and COVID is spreading at an alarming rate up there. So we were able to get up there with 4 tractor trailer trucks, 90,000 pounds of food yesterday. That doesn't count the mobile pantries that we're doing with St. Vincent de Paul over at their place, and the 1,000 and more families that we're seeing in a day just at St. Mary's Food Bank. We estimated yesterday that just our 4 main locations, almost 3,500 families were helped.
So because we're seeing such an explosive need of people, it's absolutely stunning. But with restaurants closed, where is the food coming from? Where are your donations coming from?
You know, actually with the restaurants closing, that's one of the reasons why we've been able to get some food, because the distributors are not able to give that food to the restaurants, and a lot of that food is being donated our way. We're not getting food from grocery stores. That rescue pickup is not happening now. Our large-scale food drives at public events, there are no public events, so there are no food drives. The Phoenix Public Library does a great, huge food drive for us this time of the year. The libraries are closed, so there's no food drive. But we have been able to stay up. People have been very generous with donations, and we've been able to get food from other sources. So right off of the land, right off the farms in some cases, and a lot of these restaurant distributors have been able to help us. It comes in a different form than we normally get it, but we're able to break it down with our volunteers and get it into families' homes, which is most important, because that's where they should be staying right now, and that's at home.
On that note, do you want people, will it be helpful for them to bring donations to you as they're going out and doing their own shopping and loading up? Do you still need individual donations?
Food donations are always great. The problem is right now people are having trouble keeping food in their own house, and grocery stores are having trouble keeping food on their shelves. As much as it's passé to say the best donations are monetary. They can be made safely from your own home. $10 can provide 70 meals for a family. So if you can sit home, stay safe with your family, make a donation to St. Mary's Food Bank at stmarysfoodbank.org, and we'll take it from there and make sure that we're here for, and it's not just the homeless now. There's a lot of your neighbors now that are missing paychecks. Folks who used to make donations to the food bank, used to volunteer. We're seeing those folks in the line now. They're needing a little help, and we're happy to be here for them.
And on that last note, do you still need volunteers? Is there a process?
Yeah, before COVID, we were probably seeing 250 to 300 volunteers a day. That number sank to below 30 for the first week that we were here. We're very lucky in that the National Guard has been dispatched out here. We have Guard troops that are building food boxes, that are helping us distribute the food boxes through our drive-through lines. But we certainly can use the extra hands. We have instituted social distancing. You can help build a food box and still stay 6 feet away from anyone in the line. If you could please go to stmarysfoodbank.org and let us know when you're coming and on what day. It will help us figure out how we can best put you to use.
I think there are definitely plenty of people who want to figure out how they can best help. So those are two very practical ways to do it. Jerry, I know you're busy. Thank you so much for making time for us. You truly are providing one of the most essential services in the Valley right now, and I appreciate you very much.
Thank you. And thank you to ABC15 for getting all of our information out about our mobile pantries and where people can get food. They wouldn't know where to go if it wasn't for you folks. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. And we've got that information posted on our website, abc15.com. Be healthy, my friend.
Bye-bye.